So, Dad, welcome to your next session in counseling. Explain to me a little bit about what's happening with Silas.
Well, it seems like whenever we ask him to do something that we need him to do, whether it be go to bed or get ready to go or pick up his toys, he begins to throw a major fit. And it starts off small sometimes and then just turns into this hysterical feet banging on the ground, throwing his hands in the air, and he usually ends up crying.
So it's pretty stressful.
Yeah, it really wears us down.
It really wears on both of you. Where's your wife today?
Silas was not feeling very well. He was thrown up this morning, so
Okay.
my wife's at home with him. But I knew this was important. I wanted to come on my own.
Very good, very good. Okay, so he throws these tantrums, and eventually he ends up getting, what? More toys, more time on the TV?
Yeah, we end up getting tired and end up just letting him kind of do his own thing sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes we try to, hold out and stick in there, but sometimes we just let him get his own way, and we delay our plans to calm him down, and then we try to ease him out of it.
So what have you tried so far? I mean, have you tried, what are the methods you guys have tried so far? Has anything seemed to work?
Like I said, we've tried to just kind of ignore him and let him do his own thing. We've tried to sit down with him and try to talk to him. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we just get mad at him and send him to his room. I don't know. They all work in different ways depending on the situation. So we definitely aren't consistent with what we're doing.
Okay. All right. So let me make sure I understand this. Okay. What I'm assuming is that Silas has picked this up because it just started happening when he got back from spending some time with Grandma. Is that right?
Yeah, it really was bad after we got back from our vacation because he spent a week with his grandma and his aunt and cousins, and over the last 2 or 3 months, it's been really bad since that vacation.
Sure. Okay. So what I'm assuming happened was he saw a cousin of his, or maybe saw it on TV, but he has seen this work. So he saw his cousin or a friend of his throw this tantrum and realized that the kid got what he wanted because the person gave in, the mom or either his aunt or your in-laws. And he's picked that up and he brought it home and decided to try it on you guys, which means he's a pretty smart kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
They learn quick. So he continues to do this behavior. All right. So let me ask 2 more questions. He's either avoiding something, or it seems like he's either avoiding something or trying to get what he wants in these tantrums. Is that correct? Is there any other reason he would be having these tantrums? Are you concerned? I mean, what are the triggers? Is there anything that you're concerned about that could physically be wrong with him that would set these tantrums off? Or is it primarily to get something or to avoid something?
Yeah, it's usually to get more time to play with his toys or to stay up later because he doesn't want to go to bed or he doesn't want to wear certain type of clothes or whatever. So yeah, it's normally to get something that he wants or to avoid something he doesn't want.
Sure. Okay. So on that note then, what I'd like to suggest is the use of a technique called extinction. Okay?
Right.
So the general principle is that if you want a behavior to increase, you would tend to it. And if you want it to stop, you ignore it. Okay? So, in Silas's case, he's trying to get this attention, and his behaviors are allowing him to get what he wants. So you're allowing that behavior to happen essentially, and it's working. Okay. It's important for you to know that that's going on, so you'll be prepared that the tantrums could possibly get worse. In fact, they normally do, for a child who has realized something's worked. He'll try harder and harder and harder, and maybe scream louder, cry longer, to ensure that his plan is working, essentially. Do you guys watch TV at home?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you get home, okay, and you're watching, you turn on the game, you have a drink in your hand, you kick back, relax, and you have the remote in your hand. You go to turn the TV on, and the TV doesn't turn on, okay? So most likely you're going to keep turning and keep hitting on. Is that?
I keep trying to turn on with the remote, yeah.
Sure, and move it around.
Sometimes it doesn't work. I move it in some different areas.
Exactly.
And then I eventually have to get up.
And you eventually have to get up, exactly. So, but for a while, you'll try. You might even try so hard that you take the batteries out of the remote, put them back in, and redo it again, just because you don't want to get up. So that's essentially what Silas is trying to do. Like, he's going to push it, and eventually the behavior will stop because he's realizing he's not getting what he wants from his behavior.
Okay.
So he'll try something different. And so you've got to realize it's going to take patience from you guys. And I'll have your wife come in here next time, and I'd love to meet Silas and see how this is actually working, and we can go through all of this again. But so it will be worth it. It will be hard, but it will be worth it. So what we want to see is a extreme difference between the way you act to that behavior, the way you and your wife act. So ignoring the behavior is part of the extinction technique. Ignoring the behavior until he shows good behavior, and the second that he shows appropriate behavior, that's when you give him attention. But until that happens, you do not give him attention. And that's going to be hard, and it's going to have to be consistent. You can't do this one time and try it out and then realize or think it doesn't work, or one of you does it and then the other person doesn't, the spouse doesn't. Both of you have to be doing this the exact same way for this to work. And so Silas is smart. I think he'll understand it's not working, and so he'll try something different. And so you want to react and pay attention to the good behavior, and not react and not show any kind of attention to the bad behavior and inappropriate behavior. That's what we're going to try to do. Okay?
That makes sense.
Okay.